Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to We Have Fun, Tier 2, the final round, here at Silverstone, where we have a four-way title fight here in tonight's race. I am Owen Boldero, taking you through all of the action in the next hour and a quarter. We will be seeing who will come out on top of our four title protagonists in the form of Codematic, which is Cody. So apologies with my slight unfamiliarity with the with the title contenders in this tier. My first time ever doing tier 2, so it is Cody, Brams, Quincy, and Scott. Oh no! Oh my God! Cody, Brams, Quincy, and Lanky are your four title protagonists with 164, 161, 157, and 138 in that order. As all, apologies about that. I had my controller on a little earlier. So now let's get all of the data we will be needing up. There we are. Phew is our first out onto the track at the moment. Coming now towards the final sector of Silverstone. A circuit I am very fond of, and a circuit I spend a lot of time at doing university work. So I have some fond memories here. As here we go, riding with Fru for our first lap of the session. Turn 1, just a downshift. Swinging to the right of the track for turn 3, sorry, technically. Apologies. And now you're powering down towards the DRS straight, deploying it now all the way down the straight. ERS, a little bit of ERS usage as well. A 27.4 for the first sector for the RB. And now down to third gear. Staying in the middle of the track, then swinging out wide on exit, then towards Copse, where of course Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen famously crashed in 2021. Just a downshift and then throw the car through that section of the track. And then Magnussen Becker's just downshift for the first, and then down to 5th for the next. Use all the track available, 103.0 for Fwu. Now towards Stowe, I believe it is. And now Vale, braking just after the 100 board. Left, and then you've got to really flick it right. Make sure you stay off the curb, as that curb is lethal. Around the final corner comes the RB. It's a 126.829. That is your banker lap, ladies and gentlemen. That is the time to beat. A Zampa puts in a 26.3 immediately. And then MB with a 27.7. Smoking Ash with a 27.6. Hossine with a 26.4. As now here with Arrow, as DZ Racer puts in a 26.6. Arrow puts in a 26.9 for his first lap. And Scones is off the track, not pushing, hasn't set a lap time yet. Brams now coming into the final sector. Absolutely no ERS at his disposal for the final couple of corners here. I just need to check and confirm that you can all hear me, because I was actually the one streaming yesterday's race, but all of my OBS settings had messed up because of a Windows update. so you were unable to hear me, which was really annoying. Yesterday for Tier 3 that was. As Brams puts in a 27-3. What about Nay Danger David? I'll just say Nay because that is easier and shorter. And nobody needs to hear me say Nay Danger David every single time I talk about it. So let's just check that my mic is all working. Which, yes, it is the answer to that one. Perfect. And now on board with Scones is not pushing on this lap, and that. Why do I keep getting frame drops every time we go under that bridge? Every single time we've gone under that bridge, I've had a frame drop. Really weird. And now round Maggots and Beckids comes Nay. He's going to pick up a bit of a toe there. I wonder how much that will have helped him. Probably not all that much, I'd imagine. As now, here we go. Around the final couple of corners. He's got to keep it neat, keep it off the curbs. Round up to the line. 26.5 for Nay. Only a 10th off of pole position at the moment. As now up to the line comes Quincy. It's going to be a 27.377 P10 at the moment. Not going to be enough to worry the top 10 or the higher top 10 as such. Codzilla on a good lap here at the moment. DZ race off a pole. We will see. We will see. I do wonder. DZ Racer, of course, winner in Tier 3 yesterday by a relatively nice margin, 103.1. And there is the frame drop again. I don't know if anyone else saw that. Really weird that it keeps dropping through that section of the track. Now up to the line comes the Alpine, 27.1 P9 at the moment, about 2/10 off Arrow, who is in P8 on this very competitive grid. There is just about a 10.5 splitting 5th down to 8th at the moment. And then a 10.5 splitting 1st down to 3rd. A very competitive grid at the moment, I've got to say. In terms of lap time, it's very, very close between a lot of the packs. It is very, very close. As now we will go to the Haas of Codematic, one of our title protagonists today. Now up to the first sector split he comes. It is going to be a 27.2. I'm not too sure how good that is. But he is looking pretty nice at the moment. Since it's just his banker lap, it doesn't need to be quick. It just needs to be consistent. It needs to be a lap time he can put down, and then he can beat it and go faster later in the session. Now up to the line comes Codematic to 27.1 P9. That's not going to be enough as things stand. He's going to need a little bit more than that. As let's try and locate the other title contenders on this grid. I need to get my facts right here. So obviously Cody leading. Brams is in P2, only 3 points behind him. Brams is in 11th place at the moment. So Codematic outscoring him. Quincy is not. Oh yes, he is. He's in 13th. So he's got that on lock. And then Lanky. Lanky has yet to set a lap time. As Brams has just gone in to P6. That is good for him because that means he'll be starting in front of Codematic and outscoring him off the bat. And then Lanky. Where's Lanky? Lanky has gone P11 just behind Codematic. So at the moment it is advantage Brams. But Lanky, by the way, just to put this one out there, if Lanky were to want to win the title, he would have to get the win, pole, and fastest lap, I believe. Arrow told me before the race. So a very tall order for the Mercedes to win the title here today. One man who so far in qualifying looks pretty good is Brams. He doesn't need, to win the race. All he needs is to outscore Codematic by 3 points. Or 4 points technically. So Codematic will be getting 1, Brams will be getting 8. So at the moment, it is assignment completed. But that is, of course, purely qualifying position. Things could change when we head into the race. Now on board with Infra Jack and Scones, or Scones, however you want to say it. Scones, I believe, is the posh way of saying it. We're going to say Scones for now as we go on with Dubsy, who's on a 103.1, getting past the Red Bull there, who was going relatively slow. And now rounding Stowe towards Vale. Is it Stowe or am I tweaking? I actually don't know. It's now around the final corner. Comes Dubsy. It is going to be a 27.255 P13 at the moment. A very competitive grid this Tier 2 is, I've got to say. It's now final 3 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Zampa, here we are. The man currently on provisional pole is coming to start what could be his last of the session. If he nails this one, it will be his last. If he doesn't, he will have time to do another. He could go push this lap, then he could go slow, and I think he'd still have time to get round. He could do push, slow push if he wanted to, actually. I believe he's got plenty of time to do it. So, we will see as now round. Towards the DRS straight he comes. DRS deploying up to the split. He is on a 27.2. He was 600ths down at the point at the start of the second sector. Can he convert that to a gain, not a loss? Now towards Copse he goes. Throwing it in, keeping it clean, keeping it on the black stuff, which is what you need to do here at Silverstone. Well, not just here at Silverstone, but it's quite crucial at certain points here at Silverstone. As oh, that is not what he's done there. That is Commentator's Curse at its finest, and he'll have time to do another slow. He could do another slow. He could do a slow lap here. He's got 2 minutes on the clock, right? And he could, yeah, he's got plenty of time to do a slow lap. So he can just, no, he's going to come in. He's going to come in. So that is Zampa's qualifying session over. He probably, obviously didn't take the fuel for it, but he could have done push, slow, push if he wanted to. Not opting to use that option though, unfortunately. There's now DZ Racer, 900ths of a second up. As things stand, that won't quite be enough to move him ahead of Danger David, or Nay, however you want to say it. Can he find what he needs in the final sector? That looked pretty fast. I don't know about you guys, but that looked pretty good. It's up to the line. 27.3, it's pole position. Finds enough time for provisional pole. And with Zampa not going faster, pole is just that little bit closer for him now as now. We go on board with Hossine. And the Red Bulls could work together quite nicely here. Is DZ going to give his teammate a tow? The answer is yes, he is. As towards the end of the first sector, 300ths of a second up. And if I was DZ, I'd be getting out of the way now. There we are. He does now finally bail out, helping his teammate to no end there. As now here we are on board with the Red Bull. A little bit of grass on the tyre. Not got a lot of battery left, I've got to say. Not really that much left to deploy. And absolutely going for it. That looks pretty nice through there. It's up to the split, 800ths of a second up, needing 900ths. Can he go? Can he get what he needs for pole? He needs about just around a 10th of a second, so he's close. But currently he's not close enough. He would jump Zampa, but not his teammate. As round the final 2 corners, or 3 corners technically, he goes. That's like big snap. I don't think it's going to be enough. Is it pole? No, he doesn't go quicker. He goes 2/10 slower. Brams puts in a 26.5. Arrow with a 26.4. What about Danger David? 2/10, 6/10 of a second up. And this could well be a pole lap. And not just a pole lap, a hell of a pole lap. So now round the final corner out of absolutely nowhere, can the Mercedes stick it on pole position? Round he comes, up to the line. It's pole, a 26.088. He lost nearly 2/10 of a second and still goes on pole by 2.5 Wow. What a lap time from the Mercedes. And I don't think anyone, no one that is still running, is going faster. So that is the order for the final round here at, here at Silverstone. And as things stand, it is hugely advantage Brams. The man in front of him, Code Matic in the championship, is in 15th. And then the 2 men behind him who are still in the fight, Quincy and Lanky. Quincy is P10. And Lanky, who all of the other drivers have to DNF and he has to get pole, win fastest lap to be able to win this title. Lanky is 12. So as things stand, it is advantage Brams here, ladies and gentlemen. Advantage Brams is on. Here is the order then. Danger David, P1, DZ Racer P2, Zampa 3rd, Arrow 4th, Fwu 5th, Hossein 6th, Bram 7th, Godzilla 8th, Craig Conley 9th, Quincy 10th, MB 11th, Lanky 12th, Ollie Beam 13th, Noogie Boy 14th, Comatic 15th, Dubsy 16th, Smoking Ash 17th, Infra Jack 18th, Ellis 19th, and then Scones in 20th. As now heading into the race. It is all to play for. Absolutely all still to play for, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we have a couple of minute break before we go into the race, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, get your predictions into the chat. What is going to happen here today in Britain? Stowe is after the hanger straight. That corner. Ah, yes. That's what I thought. That's the one I thought it was, I believe. Yes, it was the one I thought it was, okay. I was tweaking out as to whether I was right, and yes, I was. D. Sommers for pole and the win. Well, D. Sommers, I don't know who you are. You Danger David? D. Sommers, are you in the race? Are you in the race, D. Sommers? But D. Sommers thinks he's for pole and for the win. Get your predictions in chat. What's going to happen here today? It's going to be very, very interesting as we wait to get underway, which would be in just a few moments' time. Here we go to 5 red lights. And we're racing here at Silverstone. It's a good start by DZ Racer, who gets Danger David immediately, who bogs down a little bit and might be under pressure from the McLaren of Zampa. As behind there's big chaos. Comatic dropping down to P16. Not the start he will have been wanting. Meanwhile, his title rival Brams into P4 and trying to make moves on Hossein potentially for P3 as he now has to defend now from Zampa, who is on the inside into turn 4. Down the inside goes the McLaren and gets the move done. As there's some contact. The McLaren had a big snap and spins. Has a half spin, but that, I believe, gave Brams damage. Did that give Brams damage? It did. The Williams has damage on his left end plate. That is not good. And now Quincy. Quincy is the one to watch, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look. So he is currently picking up 8 points. And with Brams having damage, realistically, through no fault of his own, 157. He needs to outscore Cody by 8 points to win this title, as Quincy gets himself past, which currently he is doing. So as it stands, Brams, I believe, still will be your champion, but Brams may will have to come in to the box for a new set of tyres. He's getting 8 points. He will be champion still as things stand, but that all could change. As now down the inside goes Zampa. Brams goes for the switchback, gets it done. Very nice racing there from the Williams. Zampa just a little bit too aggressive, going for the overtakers now. Ollie Bean was on the inside briefly, not quite able to make the move stick though, unfortunately. As now MB moving himself past his teammate Nuki Boy, who runs wide off the track. Probably won't have been a warning, but very close as DZ Racer leads this race now. Lanky getting himself past Infrajack, one of the title protagonists. Comatic also going past, staying with Lanky here, as Quincy has dropped Brams, who is going to have to come into the pits. And this could be his title hopes over without a safety car. And now all eyes turn to Quincy, who as it stands is winning this title. He needs to outscore as I say that. He has a big snap of oversteer. That was very nearly the commentator's curse. He catches it, but I'm going to close my mouth shut for the rest of the stream because that was terrifying. Quincy so nearly dropped it, and that would have been context curse. It's fine, as I said. And then the momentum would have shifted back to Comatic, but Quincy, as things stand, still has this P5. At the moment, he needs at least P6. As things stand, Comatic, if Comatic gets into the points, then things get a little bit trickier for the Haas. But as things stand, this is enough at the moment. As now we're going to go on board with the Haas. Check in on him, see what he's doing. Now in for Drac and Dubsy side by side. The Alpine getting pushed off track by the Ferrari a little bit. Comes back on, but loses momentum and can't execute the overtake. The RB did get close, but unfortunately not close enough. As the top two starting to pull away a little bit from Hossein in third, who has Flew right behind him. And Quincy still doing what he needs to. I'm not going to say any more than that. Now again, back on board with Comatic, who is just behind Lanky. A title rival, but more of an outsider than Brams and Quincy. But I think now at this point in the race, Brams is probably out of the proceedings without some drastic action happening. Now, here goes Comatic looking for a move down the inside on Lanky. Gets it done. There's also going to get way better exit than Nuki Boy and gets it done. Wow, what a move. Nuki Boy must have had a completely poor exit, and now that does complicate things ever so slightly. So as it stands, Quincy is still doing enough. If Comatic moves up another position, that is when things will get a little bit tricky. As Quincy has actually dropped Codzilla out of DRS, by the way. As actually, let's take a look at tyres. So Comatic is one of those people on the hard tyres. The only ones on hards at the moment are Comatic, Dubsy, Smoking Ash, and then Brams, who has of course boxed everyone else on the medium compound. So Cody could have the better tyres towards the end of the race, end of the stint, as he goes off track due to some grass on his tyres. Maybe got a warning, I'm not too sure. As now MB getting past Ollie Bean, who goes off track, which allows Comatic to just close up that little bit more. Gets very close under braking, goes a little bit deep, and dirty air affecting him. Loses all that time once again, unfortunately. Is now on board with Danger David. In P2, looking for a move on DZ Racer. As now lap 7 of 26, we head on to Codzilla already into the pit lane for a new set of tyres, and that suggests he is on a 2-stop strategy, same as Brams. Okay, moving down to Dubsy as Comatic gets close to the Aston Martin. And by the way, now with Comatic in P8, he is doing enough to win this title, as now he has a little look for an overtake on Ollie Bean, who there's a little bit of a bump with, and they both go off track. No grip, maybe dirty air contributing a little bit. Zampa picks up a 3-second penalty. Little bit of bumping and contact between the two. The Aston Martin comes out the worst of the two. Is going to be under pressure now down this straight due to a poor exit from Dubsy, who is going to sweep on past. Or not quite. He didn't quite have the same enough ERS. Does get past, but it wasn't the sweeping way I thought it was going to be. As in comes Ollie Bean already after only 7 laps on those medium tyres. Pit window is probably lap 10, lap 11 if I had to take a guess for those tyres. Not sure as to whether Ollie Beam will be able to get those tyres to the end of the race. Same with Lanky. Same with Infrajack. All those who pitted, I'm not sure whether they will be able to get to the end on those tyres. Fwu moving himself past Hossein. Minus the frame drops as Hossein goes off track again. There's a lot of people going off track through Copse. As Scones are spun at Stowe Corner, and DZ Racer will be close to lapping him here actually. As by the way, Quincy is beginning to catch Hossein in this race and Fwu. So this actually, Quincy might well be in the fight for a podium here potentially, as DZ and Fwu, not Fwu, sorry, DZ and Danger David both come into the pit lane for a new set of tyres. Not been able to drag those tyres too far as Scones retires from the session in the pit lane. That is our first retiree of the race, unfortunately on lap 9 of 26. So as things stand, okay, Codematic is a net P7, yeah? So he will be getting 6 points. Quincy is a net P5, he will be getting 10. So the 4-point difference. But Quincy needs more. Quincy needs more to be able to win this title. As now in comes Fwu. In comes Hossein, and in comes Quincy as well. As that was close, but that does allow Quincy to close up a lot under braking. As MB carries on, and Codematic of course carries on being on those hard tyres, same with Dubsy. Apologies about that, ladies and gentlemen. Fwu now. Quincy. Nuki boy into the pits, but Quincy right behind LTJ Ellis going down the inside on the newer tyres, making the move stick. And now sticking right behind Quincy. Oh, not Quincy, sorry, Hossein. And Codzilla. Codzilla has managed to successfully undercut these two. As down the inside goes Hossein, which is going to switch to the outside line, but maybe with superior traction. Is the Red Bull going to drive past on exit? No, that has not transpired. But now a little bit of ERS usage from the Red Bull is going to get him alongside. We'll watch on board from Quincy's perspective. There's a little bit of contact. The Alpine shut the door quite aggressively, which allows Quincy to pass Hossein. And now Quincy will have a go at the Alpine on the next straight, potentially. Gets a really good exit in comparison to Codzilla. Now DRS deploying absolutely no chance for Codzilla to be able to defend this one. And Quincy moves himself up to P9 provisionally. I believe that is going to be P4 for him. And that Arrow also comes into the pits, as does MB, as does Smoking Ash. Fwu sets the fastest lap of the race, as Quincy has already broken the DRS gap to Codzilla. Or has he? Has Codzilla managed to just about stay in? We will wait and see. We will find out now, as will DRS deploy down this next straight. He's got lucky with that one. He has got DRS, but it's not going to gain him anything. Now here comes Hossein round the outside. There's contact. Hossein shuts the door probably a little aggressively. And now the Red Bull will need to use ERS in order to get back into DRS of Quincy. As I forgot, DZ Racer. DZ Racer is on a 2-stop here, by the way. A 2-stop strategy for DZ. Very, very interesting. I'm not sure if that's because he can't make the 1-stop work, or if it's simply because he thinks the 2-stop is faster. I mean, I don't think the 2-stop is faster, but we will find out. As Codematic gets a puncture. I've just heard Codematic get a puncture. Yeah, front left. Front left puncture for Codematic. He's got to come in, which he does. He has managed to make them last 13 laps, and I'm not sure he'll be able to make mediums last that 13. If he can only make hards last 13, then he might not be able to make mediums last 13, because hards should still be going realistically. As Arrow and Smoking Ash retire, and that is a safety car. Oh my word, that changes the equation a little bit more, and that helps Codematic as well, because now he can take care of those tyres. he can nurture them a little bit. As both Arrow and Smoking Ash are out, what on earth happened? As now, Dubsy will come into the pits. He's got a penalty as well, by the way. In terms of pens, everyone who has a penalty only has the 3 seconds at the moment. Most people coming into the pits for medium tyres. I think you'd be silly to stay on the hard tyres. As I say that, Danger David puts on the hards, as does DZ. Dubsy puts on mediums. Quincy is going to put the mediums on. Codzilla is going to put hard tyres on. Most people coming into the pits here. I think there's more to lose from pitting than from not pitting than there is by pitting, I would say. Okay, apologies about the silence, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be honest, I'm really not feeling well, unfortunately. But we move, we live, we learn. Oh, hello Jamaican Jam, I didn't see that. Hello Jamaican Jam. Good to see you here. Evening SSR Halo. Oh, dearie me. There's lap 16 or 26. We are going to have, what, 10 laps of racing, I believe, to go? Yeah, 10 laps of racing. So those on the medium tyres are probably in the perfect range for a medium tyre stint at this point in the race. I think they're probably, those medium tyres will be the better tyre to be on in this stint, purely because, of course, with less fuel, the tyre wear is going to be less, Therefore, the drop-off of the mediums won't be as significant. Okay, I have been asked by Arrow to join the commentary channel, so I'm just going to do that. He's joined. Hang on. Just to quickly do this, I am aware we're getting underway. There we are. Okay, we're underway, ladies and gentlemen. MB has got himself a good restart. He has Dubsy, who is on the new medium tyres, just behind him. Now, there we are. Quickly. There we are. Okay. Is now on board. Ollie Bean losing a couple of positions, losing out there to Fwo on the restart as now we go towards the top. Nuki Boy in P4 behind Danger David looking to pounce. Danger David, by the way, has had a fantastic restart and has got himself back up to P3 as we just okay, not yet. And now on board with Dubsy. When will he choose to strike?
Hello, Steve.
Hello. Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm good. Good time to join with 9 laps to go in the race.
Yeah, so what on earth happened between you and Ash?
I spun at Stowe and I didn't ghost, so Ash just had nowhere to go with Ferrari sideways across the track.
Oh, that's a shame. Why didn't it ghost him? That's really weird. Or you, sorry.
I don't know. Yeah, I was fully spun. This happened to me before in Hungary, where a car was in front of me, fully spun, but it didn't ghost. I don't know why it does that. But anyway, we do have Dubsy, who's looking for his first win, along with Nate Danger David, who already has a win this season, down the inside of the Ferrari, with Dub back on the inside. Side by side they go. Dub yet to win since back in the SSR Tier 3 days many years ago, but Nate Danger David round the outside. MB out there on 6-lap old hards, but Nate Danger David looking like the favourite currently. Although back in the championship fight, Kodamatic somehow by miracle has regained the championship lead here.
Yeah, definitely. Kodamatic, I mean, after what was a pretty disastrous start, has sort of slowly clawed it back. I think Quincy got caught out by the timing of the safety car. Kodamatic was actually in the pit lane, like about a quarter of the way down when the safety car came out. So I think it was pretty much perfect timing, because before that, the Haas actually had a puncture, got a puncture coming towards Stowe. So it was literally a perfectly timed safety car for the Haas, and it realistically revived his hopes of winning this title.
And another move for the lead. MB battling with Nate Danger David. They've got around both of them. Both of them spins. Dubsy goes through into the lead. Nuki's got his front wing chopped off by his teammate as Nate Danger David back on the inside. There's more contact, more damage in the background. There's a spin from the Mercedes of Nate Danger David. He's down and around. Both Haas's together on track now. Quincy and Kodamatic both fighting for the title. See each other out on track. Ho Chi Minh through on Nate Danger David after that spin. Dub now into the lead of the race after the contact between the Mercedes. As Ho Chi Minh contact spins as Quincy as around. Quincy gone after contact with Ho Chi Minh. Quincy retires on track, which is a penalty, but I'm sure he doesn't care. He thinks his championship is done, so he won't really. I don't think he cares anymore about the penalty. He'll more care that he's lost the championship. Nate Danger David, though, back on the rear.
Yeah, realistically
of Kodamatic as Few through on DZ Racer. Both of them on the rear of Nuki Lad, who has big damage here. So Nuki Lad may help his teammate here build a bit of a gap. Because if he parks it but he's off the track there. Few going to get through into P3. And DZ Racer on the outside. Side by side they go into Maggots and Backets. Nookie Lad off the track, off into the gravel. As we head through Maggots and Backets, big contact between DZ Racer and Nookie Lad. Kodamatic now still in championship contention here, but he's out in the mediums. Brahms up to P9, and Brahms charging on the rear of Ollie and into Stowe on the outside. Brahms is going to go. Can he dive it round the outside of the Aston Martin? Big contact between him and the Aston, as contact between Ho Chi Minh and Ollie Bean as we head through Vale. In the background, Zampa and Infrajet coming together.
Gone.
Ho Chi Minh's gone around. Big contact. And sorry for cutting you off there, but there was just absolute non-stop action there on lap 19.
Yeah, just a lap of absolute nonsense, I think is the way to put it. Absolutely everything going on at all times. And all I was going to say is all Kodamatic needs to do now is bring it home. I mean, Brahms is not really a threat at the moment. He's got him behind. As long as he doesn't let him get in front and, outscore him by 3 points, he is good in this championship. It is his as things stand.
What I will say is the mediums on this game are very weak. The later they go on in the stint, and Kodamatic has ran a bit wide and he's almost lost time to Nadia David, but has regained it. But by the end of this race, Brahms' tyres will definitely be better than Kodamatic. This championship made a couple points is needed for David around at Copse Corner, and that's another car down the order. The Mercedes drivers had a lot of drama since the safety car restart, and down the order he goes. Meanwhile, Kodamatic's fully out of DRS range from the car ahead, so Brahms has got to get a move on, because he does have to outscore Kodamatic if Kodamatic drops behind Codzilla and Brahms. And if Brahms can get ahead of Kodamatic, potentially the championship could be on as Zampa round the outside of Ollie Bean. Ollie Bean going to look back down on the rear of Zampa and taps the rear of the Mercedes driver. But Hochim and Nadine David swapping positions after they had big contact under the safety car restart. We've got Few on the rear of MB. Dubsy out in the lead, but has that 3-second time penalty. That will potentially cost him in the end, as Quincy, unfortunately, down and out of the championship fight along with Lanky. It's gone down to two drivers, Brahms and Kodamatic, and Codzilla is in the championship sandwich. And will he play a factor here? Kodamatic's continuously losing time to the cars ahead, and can Codzilla put a bit of drama into this race? We will see.
Yeah, I think it's an awkward position to be in if you're Codzilla, because any action you make could affect the title. I think in a way it would be better if Codzilla did get past Kodamatic and got past cleanly, because then Kodamatic and Brahms can just sort it out between themselves, can't they? Then whatever happens is between those two.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And as time progresses, Dubs mediums seem to be hitting the cliff. They're only 6 laps in, but MB catching on the much older hards. But the delta is coming down. And a lot of drivers looking for a win here in Tier 2. It would be MB. It would be Dubsy, MB's and Few's first win in Tier 2. If any of those top 3 win. And DZ Racer has 1 win this season in Tier 2. So it'd be interesting to see who's going to win out of them. Meanwhile, Brahms all over the rear of Codzilla, but unable to get through on the Alpine reserving today. And I wonder, is Brahms going to have a bit of a Petrov moment where he can't get by Codzilla, and that ultimately could cost him the title.
Yeah, definitely. He needs to, sorry to cut you off, he needs to get a move on here. He's looking a little bit closer. He doesn't quite have the ERS to make the move work, and just can't quite get through, unfortunately. I mean, it's a very frustrating position to be in, because your rival is right there ahead of you, but he just can't quite get past. It's really, really unfortunate.
Yeah, and Brahms is going to want to make a move as soon as possible, because Kodamatic needs to be put under more pressure here, because his mediums by the end will be dead. But he also, if he's able to manage out in front here, then this will certainly help him. I wonder, is Kodamatic also thinking, if he gives Codzilla DRS and just keeps him there, then Brahms will not be able to get by. A bit like a Singapore Saints and Norris working together here, even though they're in opposite teams. We could be seeing the resurgence of that, and that could help Kodomatic win the title here. But Bram's going to work for his way past if he can. Codzilla frustrating the Williams driver. Meanwhile, out in front, MB firmly inside DRS range of Dub Z, Few, and DZ Racer as well. And we've got a four-way fight for the win, although who will it be? We'll have to wait and see. I'll have to say that the betting odds were not on any of the top three going into this race. So if any of those top three win, it'll be very, very impressive. As Zampa and Ollie been battling again. Zampa possibly hitting the cliff on the mediums. Is that an indication of where Kodomatic's tyres are? With Codzilla right on the rear of the Haas driver. And this could be crucial if Codzilla can put pressure on Kodomatic. But is he close enough to making the move? It doesn't seem like it. Kodomatic recharging the battery. Can Kodomatic stay, or can Codzilla stay close enough through Maggots and Becketts? The dirty air on this game, specifically through Becketts, is absolutely terrible. So you may see Codzilla understeer a bit wide here if he can keep it. And he has DRS now. Does he have the pace though? Meanwhile, MB takes the lead of the race ahead of Dub Z. And MB looking for his first Tier 2 win of the season, as Craig's had a spin exiting Becketts. Codzilla unable to get past. Codzilla unable to get past Kodomatic here.
Yeah, just Kodomatic doing a really good job of defending at the moment. You know, he's just keeping Codzilla there and thereabouts, frustrating Brams, but he's keeping him far enough back that the Alpine can't go for an attack at the moment. And I wonder if the Alpine does know that at the moment he is the cork in the bottle of the championship between these two, just fighting it out. As he's looking closer this time, doesn't have the ERS once again to go for an overtake. So that suggests Kodomatic just recharging his battery a little bit better.
Oh, he's got a penalty!
As he gets a
penalty! With a penalty! That could be massive for the championship now. If Brams can get ahead of Codzilla, that could seal it. This is going to be chaotic. Final 3 laps. Brams can see the title potentially in front of him, with Kodomatic picking up a penalty here on lap 24.
Yeah, this is huge. These are huge laps for this title, and that just throws a spanner in the works that we didn't expect. And the thing is now, if I was Brams, I would really be going for it. Here we go. Codzilla is recharging. Brams is getting closer. Is he going to go for it? No, he's just not quite going to be close enough. Maybe on exit he'll have a look. Codzilla carries really good speed through the corner and just can't quite beat the exit speed of Codzilla, unfortunately. But is now really, really close. A little bit of contact with the rear end of the Alpine. He just needs to execute this overtake incredibly safely.
I don't know what he was thinking. There was such a clear opportunity to send it into Stowe, and he didn't go for it. Maybe he thinks he has enough points. I'm not quite sure what the points difference is. We're going to have to see.
So Brams and Kodomatic are separated by 3 points. So as things stand, Kodomatic will go down to P7, Brams up to P6. It won't be enough.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't know why he didn't go for the move there into Stowe. That was his best opportunity. Meanwhile, in the background, Zampa and Ollie being yet again battle through Brooklands. And out of Luffield, can either driver pull ahead? Meanwhile, Few all over the rear of Dub Z. He washes out wide. MB still looking nailed on potentially for his first win in Tier 2. As Few also wants that first win as well. DZ Racer looking for his second win, with Dub Z also involved. But we're looking at the championship battle here. Kodomatic's had a horrific Maggots and Becketts, and Codzilla right all over the rear of the Haas driver. Could this be the opportunity? Few on the outside of Dub Z. We're going to keep an eye on this battle. Few finally gets through. Dub Z washes out wide, but we've got Codzilla on the rear of Kodomatic, but can't find a way through. And can Brams finally get through on Codzilla? He's going to certainly go around the outside here. And Codzilla, will he get through? Oh, side by side, Brams and Cod. And Brams does get through into P6. Could that be enough for Brams? 2 positions ahead of Kodomatic now. It is so close in the championship. I don't even know who's leading on countback. I think it might be Codomatic, but I'm not sure.
As things stand, this will be enough. They're separated by 3 points, and Brams will be outscoring Codomatic by 4 points. So as things stand, Brams is your champion of Tier 2. If he can keep it here, he will be the champion. The question is, will Codzilla attack? Will Codzilla attack Brams for this P5 potentially after penalties are applied? This is going to be a very dicey end.
Yeah, here on the final lap, Brams all over the rear of Codomatic. Is there going to be some gamesmanship up into Cop's corner? We'll have to wait and see. As Craig picks up the fastest lap, Brams has got to just keep it on the road, we believe. He's made a big mistake through Cops. Codzilla on the outside. Side by side, we go to Maggots and Beckett. Cods back through again. Brams with a major mistake through Cops' corner. And he's lost P7 as we head back through. Exiting Beckett's. It's going to be an absolute charge down and still a massive mistake from Brams that could potentially cost the title. Codzilla back on the rear, Codomatic. And Brams is going to go for something serious. Codzilla around the outside. Brams is going to side by side round the outside, and what a spectacular move from Brams to the outside! But is it enough? Is it enough? MB wins here in Silverstone as we round the final corner. Codzilla finishes ahead of Brams, but I don't know if it's enough. I don't think it's enough.
It's not enough. It's not enough. So Brams P6 with scoring 8 points. Codomatic scoring 6. Codomatic is your Tier 2 champion by 1 singular point.
I am utterly speechless. Brams had it in the bag and he made a monster mistake at Cop's corner, allowed Codzilla back through again. And Codomatic, I mean, it was a sensational move on the outside of Stowe from Brams to get Codomatic on the final lap, but he might have still lost the title. We're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to review what the results say to see how this fucking plays out. Sorry for swearing, but dear Lord, after that final lap, it was warranted. Absolutely crazy ending to the Tier 2 championship. MB, the Tier 3 driver, gets his first Tier 2 win. Absolutely sensational. Along with Few and DZ Racer, 3 Tier 3 drivers on the podium in this absolutely crazy finale here in Silverstone. And if we're correct here, it could have been a Codomatic victory in the championship.
What an end. Well, that was absolute carnage, like you said. And it was all decided on the final lap in the middle sector. That one mistake from Brams, he will be ruining that for the rest of the night, because that, he knows, is unfortunately what lost him the title, wasn't it?
Yeah, that could be pivotal. We're going to I'll have a quick look at the standings now. They've just updated. I'm going to quickly fix some things before we actually have a look at them. Because every once in a while the sheets will glitch a wee bit, so I just need to fix that. But I think it could be Codomatic with a win, but we'll have a look here. If we fix the results there and have a look at the standings. And yes, Codomatic has won by 2 points. I will try and send this through on Discord so that you can bring it up in the stream as well.
Yeah.
So the all the viewers can see. Also, what we'll do is we'll head into the driver interviews as well channel after I send this to you. I'll put it in the comms chat so you can see it.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be the first to join the driver interviews channel because of the annoying. I
joined quick. Hold on. Let me ping Few to leave.
Yeah, it's a really annoying glitch. I don't know why it's a thing, but it is. So I may as well explain it to the stream. Basically, I'm at university and the Wi-Fi it's okay, but it's not like the best in the world. And for some reason, I can only talk in VCs if I'm the first to join.
Try it now.
Okie dokie. I will join that now. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Tier 2 interviews. There we are. Let me join it. There we are. Okay. Right.
I've told everyone to join now, so hopefully we should get everyone in. I'll ping hopefully the. Hopefully we can get Codomatic in so that we can talk to him about that crazy final lap. But I think while we wait for him, we'll start with MB. MB, Tier 3 driver. It took you a couple times. Well, it took you a while to even get a seat in Tier 3, and that's mainly due to me being busy. But you did finally get your Tier 3 seat finally, and even though you've got your Tier 3 seat, you've ended up reserving Tier 2 and picking up a win in Silverstone. How does that one feel?
It really feels amazing. Like I was not practicing for this track. I thought I was like P10 in the race, but the safety car really helped me out in the end. And ERS management is so important, especially with the dirty air for the cars behind. If you have enough ERS, you can stay in front of them. So I probably did it just a bit better. And I had also much luck to not spin as I had contact with David. But yeah, I'm really happy about it, and I hope there will be some more in the future.
We did see you were on older tires than everyone else. How difficult was that to manage in the end?
Not really, to be honest. Since the hards are really durable, I thought like just try it, and it worked out very well in the end. Like they only had 10% tire wear as the safety car came out, so I didn't see a reason to box, to be honest. Even the mediums on the first stint didn't feel that bad at the end of the stint.
Well, I can tell you, I didn't feel that great on the mediums, so you're having a different experience than me. But congrats on your first. That's not only your first win, but I think that's. Did you have a win in Tier 3 yet, or?
No. I had only the podium in Austin.
Yeah, that's just your first win, and you've went straight up to Tier 2 to grab a win. Must be nice.
It definitely is, and I'm happy to have that here in Tier 2, especially. It's like a very great award.
Well, congrats on the win there, MB. And Ledgeman, if you're listening, the provisional standings are on the Twitch stream. But we'll move on to Brams. Brams, you were in that championship fight. It was an absolute barn burner. So great to watch. But in the end, it wasn't enough. How'd that race go for you, Brams?
Very bad. Got smoked into on lap 2 or lap 1. Broke my wing. Had to pit. Nothing. No else to say.
But we did see you battling with Codzilla and Codomatic at the very end there. What happened there at the end?
Going around, I forgot what corner it's called now, but going around a certain corner, I had really bad dirty air, and I thought I braked early enough and turned in early enough, to take it normally, and I know I just went really, really wide, which gave the Alpine obviously enough time and fast enough to get past me.
Well, an unfortunate end, Brams, but thank you so much for racing this season. It's been an absolute pleasure to race alongside you, even though I've been just spinning in the background and you've been up the front. But it's been a pleasure to have you here, and I hope we see you again next season.
Yeah, same.
But we will move on next to. I don't honestly in the Chaos lads don't know who finished second. I think it was Few. Few, how'd that race
Yeah,
go
it was
for
me.
you?
Couple of mistakes here and there. Got held up after the safety car. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. You know, that type of thing. I could have won that race. Yeah, MB just got some really, really good exits. Really good ERS management. He done well. Congratulations to him. Couple of things I could have probably changed, but yeah, it was a good race, good debut for Tier 2. Yeah. So yeah, good race. I enjoyed it actually.
Yeah, a very strong one. P2 on Tier 2 debut. And for those of you watching along who didn't know, everyone on the podium today was a Tier 3 reserve. Just on
wrecked.
they all come up from Tier 2 and just showing their stuff, which is quite hilarious to say out loud, but absolutely fantastic performance from the Tier 3 drivers, but I'm sure we'll be seeing them in Tier 2 next season. But
Yep.
Congrats on the podium, Few. And,
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to seeing you in Tier 2 next season, seeing how you can strut your stuff.
Oh yes, I've got some pace to bring.
But we'll move on. Who is going to be next? I think the next highest finisher was Ollie Bean. Ollie Bean, how'd your race go?
It went quite well. I got a decent start, and I was getting tag teamed by the Salvos. I had to defend from them both, which was scary. But on lap 2 or 3, I lost feedback in my wheel and ended up rear-ending Zampa, and so that wasn't fun. Then I had to defend from Code, which we had a really great battle. And yeah, and then I boxed. I feel really bad for Lanky because I broke quite early as I'd clipped some grass and it wasn't very good. And Lanky's rear-ended me coming into the pits and had to change his wing, so I felt quite bad about that. But coming to the end, me and Zampa had honestly the best battle I've ever had. It was so good, just wheel to wheel constantly. And yeah, one of the Red Bulls, it wasn't DZ Racer, it was the other one. I can't remember his name, but he ended up rear-ending me final chicane, broke his wing and spun out and retired. So all in all, I had a pretty good race. It was fun.
Well, good to hear because we have fun here. We have fun. But a good race. I'm trying to think of where people have finished. Ollie Bean, you've moved up to P7 in the standings. So a good end of the season. Who is next? Oh, Kodamax finally joined. Kodamac, now that you're here, what an absolute barn burner, a crazy race. You, I have to be honest, had a poor qualifying, but even with the poor qualifying, you were able to just have a bit of fortune with the timing of the safety car and able to swap onto the mediums, and in the end, by some miracle, win the title on the final lap. Kodamac, how did that race go for you?
Yeah, it was a terrible race, to be honest. Or it wasn't terrible because I won the championship, but qualifying was terrible. Just trying to stay out of trouble. I punctured on both stints. Took my front lefts to 90% wear both times. Punctured on the last lap. So it was a very chaotic race. The safety car helped a little bit, but I think my overcut would have put me in P10 anyways. And then, people ahead got to box onto fresh hards, and I was on mediums and I had to take them like 15 laps or about 14 laps. So it wasn't actually good for me this time. Normally safety cars bail me out, but today it made it so that everybody could be on fresh hards. I was on fresh mediums, but I punctured at the end of the race. And what helped was just doing the Carlos Sainz around Singapore strat, keeping somebody behind on DRS, making sure I recharge, burn where I need to. So it was, they made me work for it today, but good race nonetheless. Good season.
Yeah, a terrific race, and I must say that final lap might be one of the most insane we've ever had here in WHF. I couldn't believe what I was saying. Absolutely crazy ending, and congrats on the title, Kodamac. You're Tier 2 champion here in Season 6. How does that feel?
Thank you. Yeah, it feels good. There's some very quick drivers in tier two, and I'm kind of sad that I missed a couple of the races where I could have continued my win streak. But to win this many races in my first season, and to I always call Rain the great equalizer, but to get some podiums and good results in the dry here as well. I was happy about the consistency this season, and yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, and we certainly are. I'm looking forward to seeing you both in Tier 1 next season because I'm expecting there's going to be more battles in the future. But congrats on the championship, Kudomatic, and we're looking forward to seeing what you can do in the future.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll move on to Nuki Lad next. Nuki Lad, you were up in the podium positions following the safety car restart, but you were involved in a lot of chaos, and we did see you get your front wing clipped off. What happened there?
So basically what happened, like from what I saw from my perspective, Danger David or whatever that Mercedes was, like dived down the inside of MB. They had contact. David ghosted, and MB ended up not ghosting, and I kind of like ran into the back of MB, killing my front wing. Then David tries to close the line, like I was on the inside line for the last corner, and like he just comes across me, I spin him, I lose more time, and then I had no front wing, I couldn't go into the pits because I had already gone past. And then coming through cops, I went completely wide, like completely left the track, came back onto it, ended up being side by side with DZ Racer, and he didn't seem to realize, I believe, and so coming into Maggots and Beckett's, I just got punted into nowhere. And so yeah, unfortunate race for me there.
Unfortunately so, but you still had a terrific race, even though it didn't end the way you would have liked. But hopefully next season we can see more of the same great battles. I must say, even though I was pissed that I crashed that race, that was spectacular to watch after my crash. The battles throughout the field were absolutely brilliant, and you were involved, unfortunately, in the wrong end with the damage there, and also obviously DZ Racer contact. But anyway, we'll move on to, I believe, Scones. Scones, you retired early.
Don't want to talk about it. It's so bad. I need to practice more.
That's okay, Scones.
First time I've tried no assists after like playing F1 for like a year and a half with all assists on and just manual gears.
It is not an easy transition, let me tell you. I am struggling the same as you, Scones.
The trouble is I don't even want to ask to be dropped to tier 3 because I don't have the availability to race tier 3. So in the off season, these weeks, I'm just going to have to try and put some practice in, get more consistent, and hopefully come back better next season.
Yeah, hopefully. So you did win the opening race of the season, and hopefully we can see you in more wins next season as well.
I'm doubtful. Maybe a podium.
But anyway, Scones, hopefully we see more of you next season. Hopefully it's in a more positive light than the ending here in Silverstone. But we're going to say something?
No, I was just saying, it was not the greatest of races, but we move.
But anyway, we'll move on to Ledgeman. Ledgeman, I don't even know what happened with you that race.
Stunk up the season, stunk up the race. So,
what happened?
So, race start, as the 5 lights come on, my monitor just kind of breaks. So, and for some reason, initially I don't pause the game and I decide I'm going to try and listen to the revs and go out without being able to see my screen properly. That was a terrible idea. And then I did pause the game, quickly clicked the button on my monitor to reset it, and then my AI is going about 20 miles an hour in gear 1 and everyone is flying away. So that already set me back quite far. And then I was simply just off the pace. I've not really been doing much sim racing. I've been playing other games for the last 2 days, kind of completely forgot that we had another race. So I was simply off the pace other than the start. And on lap 12, which I was meant to box it in under lap 12, my front left blew up coming up to Maggots. So obviously that is a very poor area for your front left to blow up. So that dropped me off a lot of time. I got quite lucky with people spinning and crashing to manage to get me up to P11. But I really shouldn't be there because I was like 2 seconds off everyone else. That was just... I felt like my pace was kind of okay when I had a look at the lap times that Tier 3 was putting in, some of the guys that I'll be racing against, but I feel like this season Tier 2 has really stepped up its game, and I've stayed on the exact same level.
Yeah, it's been one of the most competitive years in Tier 2. I can't even think how many winners do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 winners, maybe. It might be 7 or 8 winners this season out of 12 races, which is absolutely insane stat. Although the driver who has won the most has been Kodamatic with 4. So I think Kodamatic has shown why he's deserving champion throughout the whole season, despite getting a whole bunch of luck in the final round here. I think he definitely has deserved it. But what I will say to you, Ledgeman, I wouldn't bow your head too much. In that race, everyone was spinning. I've not seen that much chaos in Tier 2. Normally, it's just me and you spinning, but it did seem like everyone was spinning that race. So
I didn't actually spin that race.
Oh well, there you go.
Weirdly, considering it's quite a spin-prone track, it's still technically my best season as well. So
yeah, I think I did spin 4 times. So unfortunate, but anyway, me and Ledgeman are going to be stinking it up in Tier 3 next season, and it'll be super fun.
Very much fun.
But I think that is everyone interviewed. Before we head out, does anyone have any memories of the season? Most notably the rain, I assume. Any fond memories of the season that they'd like to talk about?
I'm keeping my policy on if it's a wet race, I'm leaving.
I've had it with wet weather racing. I've had it.
I've seen many Ollie Bean crash outs due to just simply seeing rain and I just hear screams. I've just been racing at Imola, but then I just hear stuff get thrown around the room down the mic from Ollie. So
going my way. I throw a right paddy. I do.
The Ollie Bean crash outs, so that they have been the highlight of my season.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, well,
having a paddy. That's great.
Well, fond memories, obviously. Win on debut here in Brazil, I think it was amazing. And now first win for my brother in Tier 2, also great. Like 2 of the best memories we could have had this season. And yeah, Ollie Bean crash outs will always be the best part of the season for me.
Oh, thank you, man. Well,
yeah,
maybe the best. For me though, the best thing this season was actually just racing in this league. Like all the people were super fun, and most people are fair to race, to be honest, at least from my perspective. And I really enjoy the racing here. Like I don't really have much to complain about it. Like I really look forward to the next season to maybe get better or just have good racing here. Like have fun. Like what's the league supposed to do?
Yeah, like everyone is so close on pace, especially like the top 12. There's like barely anything separating them. It was so competitive all season. It was really fun.
Yeah, I like the point system too. That keeps things interesting because even if you win the race, you don't like outscore P2 by a huge amount, you know. So 5 people fighting for the championship, you know, with half the season to go, or 6. I think at one point it was like the top 9 was separated by like 10 points or something. So that's pretty cool. I think my favorite moment this season was actually side by side with MB at Spa on the last lap. That was yeah. To win that race from last place and to you know to go side by side into the last corner for the win from last place. I'm like, surely I'm not gonna lose this P1 on the last corner because I'm about to puncture. So
Also, the fun thing is, like, the commentator turned off the intervals since he didn't think like there was much going to happen, and then we just at the final few corners we go at it
Yeah.
again.
yeah, I think Rio was like, wait, hold on, what do we have
Yeah.
here?
Exactly.
Well, it is races like that that whenever you look back on were crucial and pivotal in the championship. Because even if you'd have finished P2 at the line there, Kudomatic, that would have lost you the championship. So it's stuff like that where it's these little margins that can win or lose you the championship. Absolutely crazy ending of the season, but there's been so many crazy races this season. And Belgium is definitely one of the fond memories for many here as well. A fond one for me for getting pole, but after that, not very fond. And there's not really any race that I was fond of this season, but hey ho. At least personally, when it comes to actually finishing a race without spinning. But I think that is everyone we have chatted to. An absolutely sensational ending of the season. A lovely place to round it up. Kudomatic is your Tier 2 champion, finishes ahead of Brahms, Quincy, and Lanky. Lanky needed a miracle, and even though I know I was rooting for Lanky, with him not getting pole, it was essentially out of reach before the race even began. Quincy, who was in the wars, and I think had it coming together with Ho Chi Minh before he ended up retiring, unfortunately, out of the race, and then Kudomatic and Brahms battling on the last number of laps, and even a sensational move on the final lap from Brahms after Kudomatic getting the puncture, but unfortunately for Brahms was not enough, and Kudomatic would win the title. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed, please drop a follow to WHF. We're 13 followers away on the Twitch, away from 1,000, so we would like to get there eventually. But thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed, please drop a follow, and also make sure to follow Rio Harris on your way over, as we're going to raid his channel on our way out. Rio is doing a 24-hour stream like a madman, so give him some love on your way over. Also, Rio is in the Tier 1 Championship fight tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. You'll be joined by me in the commentary booth as we see who will be champion of Tier 1. Will it be Cookie? Will it be Himmy Dimes? Or will it be Rio Harris? But thank you all for watching. We will see you all tomorrow, and goodbye.